sassy today.
Yeah?
I got a head full of sass.
Oh.
Victor Sass. I'm Ben Sass. I'm questioning all of your Supreme Court nominations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a joke for like two people, and then one of them is mad now. So
Yeah.
But I got like 4 hours of sleep last night because I had to go do some shit today, and I'm running on pure caffeine and adrenaline.
Nice.
Which I need to stop saying that like it's a thing that doesn't happen, because it's literally every single week.
Yeah, every day that I've known you, it's been like, I'm on caffeine and I haven't slept in like 4 days.
Yes, yeah, that's my life.
Yeah.
So hey everybody, welcome back to a regular old Rage Select podcast that's just as normal as ever, except that John's back.
Hi.
Hey, there's John, and I'm Jeff. Whatever, I'm always here. You know where you are. You know who you're talking to.
I literally left for 1 week, and then you were like, don't come back for like 3.
Yes, yeah. Well, last week I had been awake for like 22 hours on the day when we normally record. I was just like, John, I can't. I'm literally dying over here. I can't do it. But
I just like, that's cool.
we have a big show. We don't have a lot of weird news. We don't have a lot of like crazy news. It's a meat and potatoes news week, right? We're getting a lot of meat. We're getting a lot of potatoes. But sometimes you gotta eat your meat. You gotta boil some potatoes. I had a dream last night that I ate a bunch of potatoes that had like live worms in them. And I thought it was like, how do I even remember this? It was like, I thought it was like some specialty of the place where I was eating at. And it turns out that like the person, one of my mortal enemies, worked there. He just pranked me by putting a bunch of like worms and potatoes. And I was like, well, yeah, it was really bad. And they're like, I can't believe you ate it. And I was like, I did. I got to check my phone now to see like, do you die if you eat worms?
No, there are people that eat worms all the time.
And I'm sure it's fine. Birds do it. And
bees do it.
Right. No, I'm not going all the way there. John, what have you been up to? It's been a few weeks. Like I said, I think we decided you were here for 7 billion humans.
Yeah.
But other than that, you've been you were away.
I was on vacation, then I came back, and then I recorded 7 billion humans, and then you were like, don't fucking come back to my house ever again.
Yeah.
And then today you were like, hey, want to come back to my house and record a podcast?
We had one of those YouTube beefs, and we settled it with a live streaming boxing match, and nobody watched. I forgot to tell anybody about it, but and so, well, what have you been up to? Anything good?
No, not really. I mean, like I said, I went to, while I was, on our vacation / honeymoon or whatever you want to call it, went to Disneyland.
Right.
Went to, Power Morphicon, which is a big, biannual Power Rangers convention.
Right on.
Saw Matt Frank there, hung out.
Yep.
But other than that, like, came back. That drive was crazy. Took a picture of the sign that you told me.
The thing. But you didn't stop to.
No, we didn't stop to.
You didn't look at the thing.
Yeah, we didn't stop. Well, it's like by the time when we were driving through that area, it was like super late at night. Or
no, you got to do it on your way out there. You can't do it on the way back.
Yeah, so it was just one of those things where it's like, weirdly enough, and I think this is the strangest thing. So, my dog has not really done car rides.
Sure.
We've taken her on car rides before, and she's kind of gotten a little car sick. So we've always been like hesitant to having her on a car ride. But because we were going to California for like over a week, we were like, well, she's going to be in the car for the entire time.
Right.
Handled it like a champ.
Yeah.
Greatest car ride of her entire life. She loved the whole thing. Fucking great. Wants to go on car rides all the fucking time now.
You've created a monster.
Yeah. Like I'll take her outside to go for a walk, and she'll make a beeline for the car.
My dog loves the car too. Like sometimes when I go to take him out, I'll have like left my cigarettes in the car. And so I'll go to the car and open the door to get my cigarettes. And he's just like, oh, are we going somewhere? Where are we going? Because my dog loves to go to the vet. He loves it so much.
Yeah.
Because everybody at the vet, they dote on him. And he doesn't mind all the poking and prodding and stuff. Because everybody's just like, oh, you're so good. Oh, you're so even-tempered and mild.
But yeah, so we've, since we've been back, we try to at least once a week get in the car and drive somewhere.
Yeah.
And, like, go to some place that has like an outside food court, have her with us, and then go to a park.
Austin dog people.
Yeah, we don't really hang out with other dog people because she doesn't like dogs.
Yeah.
Like, my dog doesn't like other dogs.
No. But you're just, you're part of.
She also doesn't like other people to come near her. She likes to watch people. That's the weird thing. And I'm not even talking like watch them in a way like I'm going to murder you or like what are you doing, but just like look at those people over there.
Yeah.
Oh shit, they're coming over here now. I got to get on defensive, kind of thing. But that's she's a weird dog.
Dog's such a wackadoo.
But yeah, other than that, not really. Nothing really big going on. I mean, this weekend has got a lot of big stuff coming on. So by the time this podcast goes up, important stuff will have not important, but fun stuff will have happened. We've got a concert coming up on Saturday. I'm going to go see MXPX.
Oh, cool.
I backed their Kickstarter for their new album, and they're coming into town, so we're going to go see them. And then also this weekend is Staple, the Independent Media Expo.
Is that time already?
Yeah. So they had a lot of fun. Back to Kickstarter for a really expensive board game based on Power Rangers that just ended today as we're recording this.
All right.
Getting it's got like little miniature figures and getting like 100 and some odd miniature figures.
I can't think of a thing that's more John than what you just said to me. A Kickstarter for a Power Rangers board game.
Well, the funny thing is we actually got to play a demo of it at Power Morphicon, and I actually had a lot of fun with it. So I'm like, I'm going to kickstart this.
Yeah.
And they like said, oh, if you kickstart it, you can buy just the game, or you can buy this game and get all these exclusive expansions and extra stuff that only comes through the Kickstarter and will never be sold anywhere else.
Right.
So I put down a pretty penny for that.
Wow. All right.
And then and then Spider-Man comes out
tomorrow. Yeah, as of us recording this.
And I'm really looking forward to playing that as well.
Yeah. By the way, I just like to say very briefly, yes, I know that Spider-Man is out. You're going to be getting a video for that on probably Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe Thursday. I know that it came out on Friday, but, we have to delay. There's a reason. You'll see the reason. Yeah. You'll be happy for the reason. So, just zzz. Well, I last night finished watching that Jack Ryan show on Amazon Prime, which was okay. I have a really hard time with John Krasinski, action hero, because he's just fucking like Jim from The Office a lot of times. So whenever he's being like, oh God, I'm super gruff. I'm kind of like, no, Jim, putting on this act for Dwight. Where's Dwight? Bring Dwight out here.
Didn't someone do like a YouTube video or a Funny or Die video about something like that?
Oh, I don't know.
That was like I think they used like edited footage or something like that, or actually got the actors involved or something.
I don't know.
Like on Funny or Die.
I have no idea. All I know is that it was okay. It was pretty decent. I really liked Wendell Pierce, which people who have watched The Wire know as Bunk, the Bunk from The Wire, as James Greer, who was played by James Earl Jones in the movies.
Yeah.
And then, Jack Ryan was Harrison Ford in Patriot Games, and
Ben Affleck in another movie.
He was in the Sum of All Fears, I think. It was Ben Affleck and Morgan Freeman in the Sum of All Fears. I don't think I've ever actually watched that.
Then, Alec Baldwin in another movie.
I believe he was Jack Ryan in Hunt for the Red October.
Yeah. There's been a lot of people that have played Jack Ryan.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting to look at John Krasinski and go like, is John Krasinski like the Harrison Ford of our time? And I'm like, no, I don't think he is. Like the whole one of the main problems that I had with it was the whole time I was just like, I think I'd rather be watching 24, which is super ludicrous. It's idiotic. It doesn't make any sense. Like the amount of steps ahead that the bad guys are thinking in 24, and the number of plots to the United States, and the number of times that Jack Ryan has to pull somebody's teeth out in the name of freedom and justice is all redonkulous. But what it is like bad anime levels of dramatic, where I'm just like, oh, woo, yee. And with Jack Ryan, it's like, he's an analyst. We're going to Turkey. I've got to learn how to put my feelings aside for the sake of this mission. And I was like, I mean, it was okay. I don't know. So that's my review. Maybe just watch 24. Then you get to see Chloe, and like, what's wrong with that? And you get to watch Kiefer Sutherland just like punch people in the throat constantly It's amazing. Have you ever watched 24?
I've watched the first season of 24.
Oh, it gets so much better than that. It's so much more ridiculous.
I was just like, this show's not for me.
Hell yeah.
It's good, but it's just not for me.
Anyway, I have been trying to make a habit of not going on for too long in these opening bits. So we are at 10 minutes.
I'm totally fucking you up on that.
Well, it's all right. It's fine.
Because I've got 6 more things to talk. No, I'm joking.
Just
actually, I do have something.
Well, briefly,
I bought a SNES Classic.
Oh, I bought an NES Classic.
Yeah,
No, I have both. The SNES Classic's amazing. It's a great thing.
It's pretty good.
Mostly because last week I found myself that whenever we get all backed up, right, then I end up rushing through the trailers at the end, which are some of the best parts of, the stuff that we look at every week. So anyway, speaking of trailers, our first trailer this week, our kind of head off, we're going to be talking about the big 2, and that is Call of Duty and Battlefield. And we're going to start with Call of Duty put out the trailer for their Battle Royale mode Blackout. This is an appropriately Call of Duty trailer. It's got a kicking soundtrack. It's got a lot of action. It's got nice camera angles.
Looks like Call of Duty.
Everything.
Looks,
yep.
I guess, like Battle Royale.
Yeah. I don't know. It's... You know what? You make a good point that what we're looking at here could honestly be a trailer for just a new multiplayer mode.
Yeah.
Like if you just showed it to me in a vacuum, I don't know that I would put together that it was a Battle Royale thing. It'd be like, oh, they've got some kind of like mega map, that you can do regular action with. But I was saying to you before we started that I'm still waiting. I'm still looking for the Battle Royale game to really capture my imagination.
The one for Jeff.
The one for Jeff. Because Fortnite ain't for me. As much as I wanted it to be, I tried it 3 times. It's just not for me. You know it. You know it deep down in your gonads when the Battle Royale game is yours. And PUBG,
just couldn't get that chicken dinner, huh?
Well, the thing with PUBG is that if PUBG was on the PlayStation 4, I might play it. But I'm not going to hook up my Xbox One to play it. And I don't want to keep it installed on my PC. So... yeah, we've got some new contenders. Some of the interesting things that we see in this trailer are vehicles. There are, I believe, 4 vehicles in this trailer, and those are the ones confirmed so far. There's the ATV, which is 1 person, 1 passenger. There is a flatbed truck, which is 1 person, 3 passengers. There is the helicopter, which is, again, 1 person, 3 passengers. And then there is a boat, which is also 1 of 3, like a little Zodiac boat.
Okay.
I don't know. I really want to play the beta for this because if it works, maybe I really liked the just straight up multiplayer beta for Black Ops 4. Somehow I like the powers, and it looks like, the characters that you're seeing doing stuff in this trailer are using the powers that they had. So there's obviously going to be classes and stuff like that. Some other interesting things. There are going to be zombies in the Battle Royale mode.
Oh, okay.
Not a lot of actual, not a lot of information about what exactly that's going to be like, but it kind of sounds like there might be points where zombie hordes just appear and to put in another set of obstacles to the player.
No, yeah.
I don't know. John, what do you think? Is there any, are you looking for your Battle Royale game?
Not really.
No?
I don't, not really. I just, not my type of games.
Yeah. Another thing. It appears that right now Treyarch is saying that they're only going to be doing 80 instead of 100 people.
For the beta?
Well, they
or
said that
for the actual game mode?
They said they've done both and that they're probably going to be doing 80 for the beta, but that's kind of what they're shooting for, as their internal testing has shown that 80 is a better number for them than 100.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if that's just because you can have a higher turnover with an 80-person game, but I don't know. It's been real fascinating. What is it? Okay, what has it been? How long ago was PUBG? When did you and I play PUBG? Was that a year ago? Year and a half ago?
Maybe 2 years ago?
I don't think it's been a full 2 years, because I remember doing a PUBG skit for a Scam School ad, and that was, I think I've only been working for them for a year and a half. But, so in a year and a half, I feel like So before that, whenever you and I were doing the podcast, I feel like there were plenty of times where we were just like, look at this shit, another MOBA, another person trying to break into that their MOBA market. There's MOBAs everywhere, MOBAs, and now it's just battle royale. So
Yeah, well, you got to strike while the iron's hot.
I know that like Fortnite has said that they're going to have competitive esports versions of battle royale. I wonder. Also, we see some wingsuits in this. I don't know if that's just for coming down off the helicopters at the very beginning, just for deployment or what. But
or if like certain characters get the wingsuits,
I think
as
there's
a special ability.
Yeah, well, I think that it's probably going to be everybody has wingsuits all the time, because I swear there's another part of this trailer where a character just jumps off the top of a building and opens up a wingsuit. But I don't know. It also brings up the question that we've had a few times in the past, which is, given that Black Ops 4 doesn't have a story mode and that we're going on Battle Royale, zombies, and then multiplayer, and that's it, like, it's got to be a pretty robust mode, right? To keep people, I don't know, try to bring in the crowd. I guess the real question is just going to come down to, like, can anybody beat free? Because, Fortnite's fucking free. Like, you don't have to buy that shit.
Yeah.
And it's already a huge install base. So if you're looking to get into Battle Royale, like $60, not just $60, but the fact that what they're doing, that bullshit where if you want all the maps, you have to buy the whole season pass. Like, they're not going to be parsing them out piecemeal. So, is a company really going to be are you really going to be interested in paying $90 for, like, it better be a hell of a fucking Battle Royale mode, right? Like, it can't just be like, oh, well, this is pretty good.
Yeah, it has to be a pretty good Battle Royale mode, and also has to be pretty good in everything else it does.
Right. So I don't know.
Because if it falters anywhere, then why the fuck should we care?
It's a lot riskier than I would normally have expected Activision to be, but I guess this is a litmus test for them to see if they can get away with it. Like, if they can get away with taking the story mode out of Black Ops 4, what do you think the chances are that the next game is going to have a story mode?
If this does well, I think that there's little to no chance that the next game will have a story mode.
Well, no, but see, the thing is that because they have that 2-year development cycle, like whatever the 2019 Call of Duty game is, has to already be in development. And the way that they do their stories, if there is a story, it should already be in development. What do you put down? What do you think are the odds that this is an experiment and next year we'll have a story game again, and that if this sells well, then maybe like the one after that won't have
that's possible.
I don't know. It's an interesting question. I'm really going to be interested to see what the sales figures on this guy look like, because it's not tapping any of the World War II nostalgia like they did last year. It's got the kind of semi-future thing, but then no story. I don't know. Because, I'm sorry, I don't mean to get hung up on Call of Duty for so long, but like now I'm thinking about it, right? And so if you're at Activision and your hypothesis is people don't play Call of Duty for the story, right?
Which has been the case that most people that play a Call of Duty have said.
Right. But if you don't play Call of Duty for the story, then why was the Infinite Warfare trailer so downvoted? Why did people get so up in arms about the story? If the traditional wisdom that nobody plays Call of Duty for the story is correct, then why would anybody even be remotely upset? I mean, who gives a shit if the story's in space? All you care about is whether the multiplayer lives up to what you want out of a multiplayer game. Like, who cares whether the skin on the multiplayer is Halo or Call of Duty or Far Cry Primal or whatever?
I actually can answer that.
Okay, all right.
Because they don't want a sci-fi shooter. They want modern warfare, realistic, on Earth, regular guns that actually exist in this world.
Right.
But shooter. That's what they want. And that's what they're getting with this.
I don't think they are, though. I mean, like, these characters...
all these characters have weapons that are in real world right now. Now, are there some Infinite Warfare characters in this that have some, like, crazy Infinite Warfare stuff? Yeah, probably. But, like, a lot of this is, it is the for the most part, modern enough.
I guess, but it still seems like near future to me rather than modern. I mean, I guess for me, it's like the powers that the characters have very much seem out of place. Like, there's one character that like powers up their armor and radiates radiation onto people. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't really understand. Maybe it would be something to ask to somebody who really gives a shit about Call of Duty. Which,
but yeah, I really think the Infinite Warfare thing was because it was in space, and it turned it into, it leaned too hard into sci-fi.
It looked too much like Halo.
It leaned too hard into sci-fi, and that's not what people want out of their Call of Duty.
Right. Also, I will say that Infinite Warfare also came off of a string. It was like Advanced Warfare, I think Black Ops 2, which had a kind of a near future setting. There was a lot of near future going on in
Black Ops 3.
Yeah. Well, I think Black Ops 3 was after Infinite Warfare, wasn't it?
Probably.
Black Ops 3 was last year? Infinite Warfare?
Black Ops 3.
Oh, that was World War II. I think
Yeah.
Black Ops 3 was the year before that.
Yeah.
And then I think Infinite Warfare, or was it Infinite Warfare Black Ops? Who cares? Let's move on. Let's go on to Battlefield. Or no, let's move on to Fortnite. Sorry. I forget the order that I even put these things in.
God damn it, Jeff.
We got a trailer for High Stakes, which is the latest Fortnite edition, which has some seriously payday looking motherfuckers in it.
Yeah.
Bunch of guys what are in suits with card, what do they call those suits on their masks?
Playing card suits, yeah.
Yeah.
Look like the Royal Flush Gang from DC Comics.
Okay, I can see that. There's a
Except
grappling hook.
mixed with the fucking
Like Negative Man's henchman?
No, I was gonna say mixed with the assassin from fucking Valve game multiplayer with the heavy and the scout.
Oh, Team Fortress.
Team Fortress. Thank you.
The spy.
This is what happens when you don't have me on the podcast, Jeff, or have me do anything on the site. I start to lose my video game knowledge.
Got to get it all revved up. We got to get you warmed up. We should have done some warm up questions where I had flashcards. You're like Sonic, Shenmue, the third person shooter, and then like, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a grappling hook gun. It looks like there is a new limited time game mode called I think it's called Heist. What is it called? The Getaway, where you literally have to. There are jewels that come up on the map, and you and your team have to go get them, and then like extract them and take them away. That's cool. Again, Fortnite continues to be like, holy shit, could you be doing this anymore right? Like,
yeah.
I just don't see, like, I keep expecting. The thing that's so crazy to me about fucking Fortnite is that their level of content release is so high.
Yeah.
It's like every 3 weeks there's a fucking new, and it's not just like, here's one skin or here's a new gun. It's like, here's 4 new guns, a new game mode, and a whole new thing that you could totally go do, and it looks super fun, and it's different from whatever you did before.
Also, that now there are cracks in reality.
Right.
Also, now here's the Infinity Gauntlet.
Right.
Now there's a giant rock slide that's coming from nowhere.
And
happening.
A purple cube that's just wandering
a giant
around the
purple
map.
cube that randomly teleports.
Yeah.
You know,
here's Thanos for 4 days. Have fun. Whatever. Is Thanos going to be like is it a new game mode? No, just like a week. It's just 1 week. You go play as Thanos and then just fuck off. We're going to do something else after that. Yeah, it'll be basketballs and water slides the week after that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, goddamn, I've never seen. And from Epic, no less. The fact that Fortnite was in development for so long, like, it must just be like every day. Who's the CEO of Epic Games?
Oh, I don't remember.
Whoever they are, they might just wake up every day, just like, wow, this is incredible. Like, we worked on this stupid tower defense zombie game for 5 years. Nobody played it, and then we're just like, Battle Royale, and now there's literally liquid cooled phones so that children can play Fortnite in the classroom because, why not? Why not? I mean, why not? So, hey, you know what? And so far, they ain't even been evil with this shit. They could have totally done that thing where if you win a match, you get a chest, and that chest has a $5 key that you have to buy to open it up, have a random item in it. They could have done that, and everybody would have been like, grumble, grumble, grumble. But they would have been fine with it. But they haven't even done that. Like it's amazing. Yeah. I think Fortnite is amazing. What about this? Is this the one for you? The heist, the Royal Flush Gang? Royal Flush Gang, John? No? Okay. Battlefield 5 is also getting a battle royale mode.
Battle Royale on Battlefield 5.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep. They said they're putting it in because they enjoyed it, not because it was a corporate mandate told to them by the scumlords who run EA, John. This is totally DICE's decision, except that DICE isn't making it. Criterion is making the Battle Royale mode for Battlefield 5. And may I just say that after their wonderful work on the game Black, I can't see why you wouldn't trust them with something as important as probably the most popular mode in your World War II video game. That was all sarcastic, by the way. I'm sorry. I should have said that a lot more sarcastically. Also, making Criterion do anything but make me a new Burnout game is a waste of fucking time. And why won't you let them go? EA, let my people go. Let my Criterions go to make me a new Burnout game. And it's called Burnout 4 Splatfest 99. I don't know. And then it's just going to be a new Burnout game.
What I'm going to love is if they announce at the next E3 Burnout 4 Splatfest 99. And we're going to be like, somebody's listening.
Yeah!
Somebody's listening.
Yeah, motherfuckers, yeah! And I'll be like, oh, can I get a free copy? It's like all that weird rage-like shit that we found in Guacamelee 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you guys were fans, you could just send me, like, you didn't have to name them after the things we say. You could just give me a free copy of the game. I mean, I don't know.
We already loved the first one.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's basically, this one is interesting because this one's going to be, I believe, 64 players, 16 teams of 4. And one of the things that I think that I really like about both the idea for Call of Duty and for Battlefield is the idea of having a smaller set of people on the map, right? Like 64 seems pretty dramatically less. Is that not right? Are you doing the math for me?
No. Oh. Strangely enough, I think EA is listening because they just sent me an email saying I could play the beta for Battlefield 5 right now.
What? Madness!
I'm just like,
voodoo!
It's like my phone vibrated. I'm like, what?
Uninstall the Facebook app immediately. You know, why is it? I was actually having this thought the other day. Does somebody just make like a phone that's like stripped down of all the APIs and all the bullshit where it's just like, what you can do is text message and like open a browser that doesn't, but not have like a shitload of dumb apps on your phone. And if not,
I think there's a company that did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know they have like, I also know that, because hell, I know someone who actually still has a flip phone.
Yeah, but I don't want a flip phone. I still want to be able to access the internet.
But it's like he can access the internet on it, but it's just a very like bare bones flip phone. Can't really do much.
See, I don't want it to not be able to do things. I just want it to not have like the Google App Store installed on it. Like I want some garbage version of Linux on my phone that like lets me put in a few weirdo apps to do stuff.
I think what was it that someone was telling me the other day? It's like people jailbreak iOS phones to get apps on it, whereas people jailbreak Android phones to remove apps from it.
Yep. Anyway, sorry, Battlefield 5. There are also going to be apparently like objectives for people to do during this mode, this Firestorm mode. I do like did you see the trailer where they showed the fire kind of coming in? I do like the way that's like their world barrier, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot more kind of dynamic looking than a big purple energy wave coming in. But along with this, or I don't know, we also got a 6-minute Battlefield 5 trailer called This is Battlefield 5.
Which, I gotta say, is probably the best trailer they've done for this game.
I couldn't agree more! I wish that this had been what they showed at E3.
Because now I know what this game is.
Absolutely! It so easily lays everything out. It's not like any bullshit. It's just a lot of prettiness and like, here are the game modes. Here's what we changed. Here's what we've improved. Like, they talk about the way that you can, like, crawl backwards and shoot in the opposite direction, and their big grand operations thing. This actually makes me more excited for Battlefield 5 than I was at any of the dumb Nordly trailer, or like the first trailer that we got all mad about. Like this one is just like, hey, look, here's the game that you wanted to play.
And here's what each mode does.
Yeah, here's what we got. We got a single player, we got multiplayer. It's got some different modes. We got a battle royale. I like the building part of it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Where you can blow up buildings, but then every soldier can like put down sandbags or like dig foxholes.
So you can technically rebuild a building. Not like rebuild it like exactly like it was, but rebuild it so it's fortified again.
Right. At least like set up fortifications to create like a choke point or something like that. I think that's really cool. That sounds like a good use of their destructible terrain, right?
Yeah.
So it means that by the end of the map, it isn't just like a parking lot.
Yeah. Also, you can sprint while crouching.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Not many games do that. I feel like most first-person games for the longest time have been like very much divided those two things between like, are you crouching? What's next? Sprinting while prone?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everything here looks pretty solid. I guess I did this in the wrong order, John, because after John and I get done here, we're literally going to play the open beta that EA just emailed you about. So I guess we would have had more to say, but this trailer is really impressive.
But then they wouldn't have a reason to watch that video.
That's true. Well, but see, they're going to get it in reverse order because they're going to get the video first and then this podcast.
Oh.
So it's everybody's fucked up. It's just the whole thing's fucked up. It's fucked up. All right.
Maybe they didn't watch the video because they thought we talked about it on the podcast, and then
there you go.
Now they know they have to watch that video and watch both Jeff and I be like, "Fucking hate playing these games."
I don't know if I can dig a little hole and get in it. Can I put the sandbags over the hole so that I'm just like all like bunkered down in a little like a one of those spiders that digs a hole?
Yeah, it's going to be this weird thing where people watch this video and it's us just like shitting on everything, like unjustly shitting on everything. Like, and I want to stress that unjustly.
Yeah,
like it could be perfectly fine and great, but Jeff and I are just like dying every 5 seconds and we just hating on everything. And then they come to this podcast and we're like, "This looks great. This is amazing.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait to play this later."
Fuck yeah. No, that would be pretty good. So anyway, I don't know. I mean, and then the whole like, what is it? Like Tides of War?
Yeah.
Like kind of, that was the concept that they have there of like having an objective map that if you win, then you move on to another map with a different type of objective was a concept that I remember I first heard in the pitch for Team Fortress 2 back when it was like a war game and not the Meet the Team type game. So I'm actually kind of interested to see how that goes. I'll also be really interested to see, boy, the Battlefield 1 single player, I just couldn't care less. But all of this is to say, hey, EA, look how nice we're talking about this game. Maybe you guys could let Criterion go to make a Burnout game, and then maybe you can make Bad Company 3 next. Hey, what about Bad Company 3? Bad Company 3?
Oh, you know now they're going to do something to fuck this whole thing up. Like microtransactions out the wazoo.
Well, we already know that they've pulled that EA, like, no DLC, like no paid DLC. And it's like, oh, okay. So it's going to be just like riddled with, I can't imagine the day is going to come when their development budget is going to be relying on like microtransactions, cosmetic microtransactions to make up the difference for their DLC plans, right?
Yeah.
And then nobody buys any of that shit and they're just like, oh, we just lost money on this game. But EA needs a win, man. I don't feel like EA's been doing a very good job recently.
No. No.
I don't know. You know, Battlefront 2 is still all fucked up. But speaking of which, we also got a 2-minute video for Anthem. This is a video called Anthem Gameplay Features Our World, My Story. Can I just say, John, I have never watched a 2-minute video with so many ways to talk about things that are in every video game and then make them sound like
pretentious as fuck,
like features, like super features, right? Like, oh, in this world you'll get to know other characters. It's like, oh, really, and BioWare.
The story will be played out in real time.
Yeah. Oh, really? I'm used to those turn-based stories like Persona where I have to go to sleep and the next day. Oh, wait, you mean like every game? Like every video game? Like every single video game that you've ever made, BioWare? It's like they were just listing the things that are in a BioWare video game as if they just thought of them.
No. The reason they're listing all that is because they want people to think that this is another Dragon Age or Mass Effect style game.
Yeah.
And they want them to buy it because they know people were upset with how badly they fucked up Andromeda.
Yeah.
And they want people to buy this, and they're hoping that Andromeda didn't fuck up their carte blanche with customers too much. So they're just like, remember, it's totally a story. You make friends in this relationships with NPCs, and story matters, and you can't You can't. All the things you love in BioWare games, they're totally here. Please buy our game.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I still maintain that the idea of Anthem, that Anthem is based off of, is not a bad idea. But my faith in EA and their ability to execute these days is real low. So it's possible that this might end up being, like, on paper, it seems like it could be a good game.
Yeah.
But you keep hearing these things that make you go down, like, now wait a minute.
Every time I see an actual, like, these videos are fine. Like, these videos that they're showing, they're fine. You're right. They're kind of telling us, oh, look at all these things that are in every other game that we've made, but we're talking about them right now like they're a brand new thing that's never been introduced before.
Real-time weapon switching.
Yeah, like that, and that's fine. Whatever. You know, that's these trailers are okay. Like, I don't have an issue with any of these trailers. My issues come from interviews with the developers.
Yeah.
And they just sound so fucking pretentious as fuck.
Yeah.
And not only that, it really sounds like they're trying to, like, make it sound like the fans that are skeptical are wrong for being skeptical.
It's from what you've said to me, what this sounds like is they made this to try to go head to head with Destiny.
Yeah.
And, like, once they started getting shit from Battlefield 2 onwards, that they are desperately trying to just pivot using, like, fucking Sean Murray buzzwords to be like, well, there is a single player story, and it's like, okay,
there is a story.
Right.
There's not a single player story. There is a story.
Right.
You can experience that story if you play single player, and there are some minor things that are not super important to the story that you'll miss out on because there are certain things that require 4 players. But you can do single player. Like the quote from PAX that really just pissed me off.
Yeah.
Is someone asked one of the people about single player, and they're like, I see single player as kind of a bug, not a feature. The fuck does that mean?
Oh man, no, it's I know what it means. It means they developed multiplayer, they developed Destiny, and now they're trying really desperately when they see things like God of War, and they see things like, I don't know, like Divinity 2 or Yakuza or any of these single player games that have come out, and they're desperately trying to pivot away from the games as service multiplayer live model. But the game is pretty much done. The game is like 90% done. Oh, did you
Oh, yeah, no. I found this thing. It's like, and then someone asked him about that. Like, what do you mean by that quote?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean by that? And they were like, well, if I want to play by myself, I choose to play by myself. Not that I'm forced to play by myself. In a perfect world, if all games could have all features, role-playing games would be allowed to be played multiplayer. You could bring a friend in and experience the story together. But if I wanted to play with myself, I could do that. That's what I mean, and that's what this game is. It's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny, though, is like Divinity 2 that came out this week that I won't shut the fuck up about.
Yeah.
You can play that multiplayer.
Yeah.
You can actually invite other people to play in your game. You can play it like a Diablo-style couch co-op, or you can play it, I think, with people in your friends list over the internet. You create like an open game, and people can jump into your story and control one of the other people in your party. And then when, it's like turn-based combat, I think, and when it's their turn, they get to go, and then you get to go, and everybody gets to go. So you can totally do that. It's just that, like, there's nothing about that game that seems like you would ever have to play it with somebody else if you didn't want to. It's like Diablo, right? Diablo's perfectly fine by itself.
Yeah.
Or you can play it with other people, and it's got a whole other dimension. But all the earmarks from this are that they're going to want you to play with other people, and if you play it by yourself, it's going to be lesser, right? It's just not going to be as good.
Yeah, I mean, well, even look at Borderlands. That's a game that's designed to be played 4-player co-op.
Right.
But you could totally play the whole game by yourself. Like, I play it by myself all the time.
Yeah.
And I played it with friends. And they don't treat it, like, pitch it like that. They pitch it as, no, this is a game you play with your friends. But what if I want to play it by myself? Well, I guess you could, but why would you?
Right.
Like that's the reaction. It's like, but why would you? Ew. Why are you even bringing that up to me? What are you, some kind of plebeian? Like, it's like, go fuck yourself in that attitude.
Yeah, I think that
fuck you in your game.
I think that, well, but I mean, this is far and away above Anthem, and we all know it, is that game developers recently, but not just recently, as far back as I can remember, have been trying to make this narrative stick that single player games are dead. They do it all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Once a year, there's a big push about how like, well, that's it. Single player games are dead. Nobody wants to play single player games anymore. And then something like God of War will come out. And it's like, oh, look, go fuck yourself. We're all fine playing single player games. Lots of us like single player games. We don't want to have to fucking call up our friends to do a raid at 3:00 in the morning to make sure you get home from work to go do the raid with friends.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah.
But like I said, it's mostly the interviews with these people that piss me off.
Yeah.
Like the trailers for the games, this game has no interest for me. Like I literally have zero interest in this game. But as far as that, they're fine. They're fine. They are non-offensive. I just can look at them and go, yeah, I don't think I'll be playing this game. Like they're not offensive to me. But the interviews they have are fucking offensive to me.
I wish that I'm going to be interested to see how it goes. Because, I mean, on paper, it could be good. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Two is not good, but is an Anthem, and that's going to be some loot boxes. Well, no. Anthem's going to have, cosmetic stuff. But you know what? Speaking of multiplayer and things that people don't like, loot boxes. This week, 2K games, everybody.
Good job, 2K.
Mm-hmm. So, NBA 2K19 is going to be launching in a few weeks, and in, Belgium? Belgium finally just was like, blind loot boxes are gambling. You can't have that shit in your game.
Yeah.
So 2K took it out of NBA 2K19 for their Belgian release of the game. And that would be the whole story, right? Except that they said that they're still talking with the Belgian authorities to try to get this done. But they have a quote that is really fascinating. So in the release, one of the things that they said is that they're having continuing conversations to see what they can do about the situation with Belgian officials. But then, quote, if you agree, we recommend that you contact your local government representative to communicate your opinion. We will keep the community posted on any developments. We apologize for any inconvenience. Essentially asking people to contact their government representative to advocate on behalf of the loot boxes that 2K wants to put into their fucking basketball game.
Yeah.
Ah! What? No, come on. Does anybody even like loot boxes enough to be able to do that?
So here's something I'm going to bring up.
Okay.
This is 2K related.
Yes.
WWE 2018.
Uh-huh.
Last WWE game that came out.
Okay.
They had loot boxes in there.
Oh, yeah.
But they weren't pay for real money. There was no way to buy loot boxes for real money in that game. It was zero way. No way. No. Yeah. But that system they put in place to earn loot boxes pissed me off so much that I hate that game. I legitimately hate that game.
That's saying something because you will put up with a lot of shit from those games.
No. It's the whole reason that I haven't pre-ordered the next WWE game. It's the whole reason that it's going to take a very, up to the last minute to decide if I want to pre-order to get the pre-order bonuses or if I want to just wait for it all to come out and buy it at a later date.
Right.
That shit would, you could just look at it and go, oh, there was going to be a pay for loot boxes system in here.
Right.
And they had locked so much shit behind it that you can tell that when the whole backlash on loot boxes happened, they removed the function to pay real money for it from the game.
Right.
But they didn't.
The loot boxes.
But left the loot boxes and the restrictions that the loot boxes caused in the game, which made progression just that much fucking hard in their little story mode.
Well, then they left it tuned to the way that they trickle out the in-game currency to you to try to encourage you to use your own money to buy the loot boxes.
Yeah. So I was just like, go fuck yourself. Literally, and that's it sounds like they're trying to do the same thing here.
Yes.
So I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
All right. 2K sucks.
2K, what the fuck happened to you?
Yeah. What's your problem, 2K? All right, let's take a look at some trailers. I'll tell you who doesn't have a problem. That's that Spider-Man. That Spider-Man does have a problem. That problem is the Black Cat. We got a 30-second teaser for one of the first DLCs, The Heist for Spider-Man, with Black Cat, who I honestly just Spider-Man's Catwoman, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. She's like a thief. She's swinging around
Yeah,
dressing
and
up like a cat.
depending on the story, she's either a villain or not a villain.
Okay.
She fluctuates back and forth.
She flirts a lot with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
That was like the first thing when they undid the spider marriage.
Uh-huh.
The first thing they did was tried to put them back in a relationship, which I always thought was stupid.
The spider marriage. Is that what people call Spider-Man and MJ?
Well, it was the marriage. Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just like,
Did I say spider marriage?
I think you said spider marriage.
No, I might have. I don't fucking know.
It's like, it just makes me think that if Bruce Wayne he got married to Catwoman, right? He's like, it's my bat marriage.
Actually, they didn't get married.
They didn't
Spoilers.
Oh, God damn it. See, look at how behind the times I am on my conflicts.
she left him standing at the altar because she knew that if she married him, he would become happy.
Oh.
And if he became happy, he would have no need to be Batman, and Gotham City would suffer. So she couldn't do that to Gotham City, so she left him. I'm not joking. That's how they resolved that.
Comics are stupid as fuck. Anyway, there's very little to this outside of the fact that, hey, look, it's I was about to say Catwoman. Hey, look, it's Black Cat.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Looks all right.
Yeah, no, it looks fun.
There's going to be 3.
Yeah, I think if you buy the season pass or the Ultimate Edition or whatever, you get 3 things. We know what the first one is, which is the heist. We know the name of the other 2
Turf
modes.
Wars. What do you think?
Turf Wars and Silver Lining. I'm betting Turf Wars has something to do with like either like a hardcore Wilson Fisk type thing or a Punisher type thing, or
Silver Lining's got to be a Silver Sable thing, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming Silver Lining is a Silver Sable related thing.
Okay,
but I would assume Turf Wars could also be like a Norman Osborn thing. I don't know. Like I mean, again, I don't know. I haven't played the game, so I can't like say, because apparently all 3 of the DLC ties into stuff that happens in the game.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't get resolved at the end of the game.
Okay.
Which is a little off-putting because apparently there is a complete story, beginning, middle, and end story, but there's some plot threads that they introduce and just kind of don't resolve
for DLC.
And apparently, according to one reviewer, because I was reading reviews of it, he was like, "Yeah, so before they because we review it and we couldn't talk about it until the trailer had come out, but there's this whole Black Cat subquest thing where you have to collect these items.
Yeah.
That then at the when you collect all of them, it basically just says, "Be prepared for the Black Cat DLC."
Oh, okay.
And it was just like, oh, okay.
It depends on what what it is.
Yeah.
I was just looking it up because I was like, does God of War had a season pass, right? Everything has a season pass.
No,
right?
I don't think God of War had a season pass.
Yeah,
it
had a digital deluxe edition.
Oh, okay.
Some kind of DLC coming.
Well, I know it got a bunch of camera mode and Game Plus and
Smiley Kratos.
Yeah.
The Surge, the original Surge, that is, not the Surge 2, is having another DLC. Speaking of DLC, called The Good, the Bad, and the Augmented.
The fuck is it? Why is there a Surge DLC now?
I don't know.
I think that's cool. I'm going to be honest.
It's a cowboys and robots. I don't know. All I know is that because the first Surge DLC was like
the theme park,
amusement park. Yeah. And then this is like cowboys. I never got to the end of the Surge. I don't know. Maybe it makes perfect sense if you've played the Surge, but The Good, the Bad, and the Augmented coming October 2nd. I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool.
They're
still supporting it for people who are playing it, so they have stuff leading them up to the Surge too.
I think that their season pass had like 2 or 3 pieces of DLC, and the theme park was like the first one, and so technically they're contractually obligated to give the people at least like maybe one more piece of DLC.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, though, still, you were right. At least they're doing that. It does seem strange to see this come out after we've already had 2 trailers for the Surge 2.
Yeah.
But what evskis. The Caligula Effect Overdose has a story
Gotta love
trailer.
them Japanese RPG names.
Yeah. It's this is a high school or a middle school or like a college or like a job or something. And there's like a world that's been made up. Oh, you know what? This looks so much like Persona 5 and Catherine had a weird sci-fi baby that it's hard to even overstate how much it looks like that.
Yeah.
But this is made by the same people who made Lost Dimension, which was a really interesting game. We played it on the dojo when I introduced Brian Salisbury to JRPGs. and he had the Grant Davis, what I like to call the Grant Davis effect, occurred, where he was like, "What's with all this talking? This bullshit. It's not gameplay."
Oh, you mean every time you play a JRPG here on the site?
No.
Anytime there's like an hour worth of text.
You go back and watch our Yakuza Kiwami Part 1, and you'll see about an hour worth of text, and I didn't complain at all, because it was interesting text. It's a difference. But yeah, that game was really cool, because it was like, you're going up this big Tower of Babel with a group of weird teenagers that all had psychic powers, and then like, before you could move on to the next level, you had to have a trial to decide who was the traitor, and then
I remember
execute
that now.
them, and then keep their powers or whatever. Yeah, so this looks really cool. I mean, I just like the art style. It's very simple, but it's got a lot of kind of just like stylish style to it. So I don't know, something to maybe check out when it comes out. I don't know if there's actually a release date. Switch and PS4 and Steam in 2019. So.
Okay.
Yep. We also got a trailer for Gris, latest from John and Jeff's favorite publisher, Devolver Digital.
I like that they publish a wide range of things. Like you can't, like, if you were saying name the game that is the quintessential Devolver Digital game,
right? That
looks like every other game they make, and you can't.
No, not at all. This is a really beautiful looking, looks like a 2D platformer type of thing. Reminds me a lot of Hohokum, that PS4 game where it was all just kind of like weird.
I've also seen some comparisons to Journey.
I can see that. Yep. Some people
like a 2D animated version of Journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're into kind of like interesting art styles and moody kind of atmospheric stuff, go take a look. Gris. Looks like it's pretty cool. Even if the lady who's the main character does have weird sticks for arms and legs. So, yeah, but looks pretty cool. And that is coming out this year. R-Type Dimensions is coming to Switch and Steam, and that is a remake of R-Type 1 and 2 with some fresh new 3D graphics.
I was thrown off when I saw the trailer because I didn't see the title.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I was like, "What the fuck is this game? Is this a shmup? What is this?" And you're like, "It's R-Type," and I'm like, "Is it?" And then it showed one of the bosses. Like, "Oh yeah, no, it totally is."
It showed that one red boss that everybody knows is from R-Type. Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh shit."
I don't know how interested I am in playing R-Type. I was always more of a Gradius and Life Force kind of guy myself. But anyway, I mean, it looks like it's going to be pretty good for anybody who's interested. We also got another trailer for Trover Saves the Universe from Squanch Games, the creators of Accounting Plus. And I believe that they also, I think that I don't think they were in any way, shape, or form related to the Rick and Morty game. But
no, they weren't related other than the guy that does all the voices is the guy who does the voices of Rick and Morty.
Right. This trailer is an awful lot like Accounting Plus, where it's just the interdimensional cable episode of Rick and Morty, but a game where people are all just like yelling and screaming in that same Justin Roiland doing all of the voices for everything. I'm not tired of it, so I'm definitely interested in playing this.
I mean, I'm interested. Like, I had fun with Accounting Plus. Like, I actually played that quite a few times. Like, I actually played it until I think I was like one achievement away from 100%ing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I'm interested to see what they do.
I don't know. I'm wondering if a whole game of this would become tiring, would become exhausting. But I mean, so far, I just like everything that I've seen, and I think I would like it more if you had a whole game and not just, each level had its own kind of like little, how do you get out of this level type of thing. It seems like people are shoving stuff in their eyeballs all the time here.
Yeah.
So, not sure what the fuck is even going on in this trailer. It doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense.
Nothing about any of these trailers have made any goddamn sense.
Trover's dogs,
though it does seem to be making fun of Let's Players a lot.
Yeah, you think so?
There's a lot of moments where they're like, "Please stop talking over the game, you fucking asshat."
Oh,
or
what do these things look like? Remind me of some kind of monster from like a movie or something. This little geeky looking thing. Anyway, okay, never mind. Sorry.
But yeah, and even one of them, like the first trailer was the guy in the bathtub talking about how many like Twitch followers he had.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then our last trailer You may have seen it before, but Broforce is coming out on the Switch, motherfuckers. We got another Broforce trailer on the Switch. Broforce! I'm pretty sure that this is the animation that plays when you first start up Broforce these days.
Yeah, I own this game on PC. I own this game on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably own it on the Switch.
It's never. You know what? The thing is, I fucking love Broforce so much.
Yeah.
I've never actually beaten it. I've never sat down to try to get to the end of it.
No, I've never beaten it either.
I think I got to level 2, and then when the aliens started popping up, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I just kind of wandered off. So yeah, and that is our last trailer. Let's see. We have a few.
I will say, if you haven't seen the animated trailer for Broforce, you should watch it.
Absolutely,
it's fucking amazing.
It is truly great. Some quick wrap up stuff. We were supposed to have a Nintendo Direct today, but it was postponed due to the earthquake that came hot on the heels of the tsunami. And so,
hopefully everyone who works at Nintendo Japan is safe and good. I know they've been hit with a lot of different natural disasters, all within a week span of each other.
Yep.
So hope everyone's safe. If I'm not mistaken, the typhoon or hurricane or whatever the heck hit them, knocked the inn off of the Nintendo building.
Oh no, it's just Nintendo now.
Yeah.
We all have to scratch it off of all of our systems.
And I actually saw a video of people in Japan recording stuff that was going buildings being destroyed by the typhoon.
I saw
wind.
A boat that hit the bridge leading from the airport back into the city or something like that. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I was, when they said there's going to be a Nintendo Direct, I was like, are they sure? They could take some time off for this, because that hurricane or typhoon or whatever the fuck it was, that was bad.
Yeah.
And then they had the earthquake, and they're like, hey, we're not gonna, because earthquake.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yes. Take all the time you need, Nintendo. We'll all be here. We're in your corner. We'll just be good. Last week we had a trailer for the new No More Heroes game. No More Heroes, what's it called? What's the subtext of it? Travis Strikes Again?
Yeah.
And
I think it's just called Travis Strikes Again.
Oh, okay.
It's not called No More Heroes.
A brief comment, Suda51 basically clarified that this is definitely a spin-off, that it's not No More Heroes 3, and that he is actually interested in making No More Heroes 3, which is good, because there was a kind of extended gameplay trailer out of PAX last week, and the game itself looks like classic Suda51, which is to say, I like all of the style, but the gameplay looks boring and bad. So basically the Killer 7 effect. So I'm hoping that this as a spinoff that it works, but I haven't actually. Did you play the No More Heroes?
Yeah,
games?
I played the first one. I haven't played the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one was weird in that it had that sequence that in game it's fast forwards at the end of the.
I never played it.
So there's a moment where a character gives a monologue, and it's all subtitled, but it fast forwards it, because the main character, because Travis just is like, oh, this is boring, fast forward,
right.
And then he'll stop and he'll fast forward some more, and then if you actually slow down, if you actually take it into a video player and then slow it down at normal speed,
right,
it's a fucked up backstory. I'm not even going to say what it is, because it's out there, but holy fucking shit, that gets dark.
Oh, well, that's Suda51 for you, man.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know why people keep letting Suda51 make video games.
Because they're amazing.
But good. I'm glad that it still happens. Speaking of people who I'm not sure why they get to still make video games, CCP, makers of EVE Online, are getting purchased by, what's the name? Black Desert Online developer Pearl Abyss is purchasing CCP for some ungodly amount of money, but they're going to just leave them alone to kind of continue making EVE and all the EVE spin-off stuff. I don't really know anything about Black Desert Online. I think I've looked at it, and there's been a few points where there's been a trailer at an E3, and I'm like, ooh, what's this? And it's an MMO, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't care about that anymore.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see whether this represents a good move. I kind of always admired CCP for being an independent company, so hopefully this won't mark the beginning of them getting pushed around by another developer until they get put out of business or whatever. And one last kind of crazy acquisition story. John, did you see this?
I might have.
THQ
Oh, yeah.
picked up the rights to Kingdoms of Amalur,
Yeah.
which is really strange.
It is.
I remember Kingdoms of Amalur.
Yeah.
I don't know that it
it's
was
a really bad World of Warcraft ripoff.
I don't know that it's quite as bad as people may have thought. I mean, it wasn't great, but like, it wasn't the worst game I've ever played. I mean, I played it all the way to the end. I mean, it kind of had a character action component to it that set it apart a little bit differently. But
I'm going to stress this again.
Okay.
It's a blatant ripoff of World of Warcraft and then turned into a single-player game.
Okay.
Like, there's actually videos where they actually take sections of World of Warcraft and sections of this game and play them side by side.
Uh-huh.
And they're the exact same.
What is this game? An IGN review?
Yeah. It's I mean, even down to the quest givers having the exclamation points above their head. And
sure.
Like, it's a World of Warcraft ripoff, but then turned into a single player game because apparently Ken Schilling, is that the guy who Kurt Schilling.
Yeah.
Kurt. I knew it was Schilling. But Kurt Schilling loves World of Warcraft and loved World of Warcraft and wanted to make his own MMO, and that's what Kingdoms of Amalur was going to be.
Right.
But then they realized they couldn't afford to do that, so they turned it into a single-player game but didn't change any of the assets. And I'm almost 100% sure, had they released it as an MMO, Blizzard would have sued the shit out of them.
Wow. Well, instead, they just lost all their funding and went bankrupt.
Well, yeah, he ran that company into the ground.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know. I mean, like, you do worse than ripping off World of Warcraft to make your own dumb fantasy game that's a World of Warcraft ripoff. It'll be interesting to see what THQ does with that. And last, just for funsies, so last week was the, I believe, 20th anniversary of Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
And somebody, a YouTuber by the name of Warp Gazer, essentially made a 4K remake of the opening cinematic of Metal Gear Solid, but in Unreal Engine 4 with a bunch of purchased assets.
So how long until he gets a cease and desist?
I don't think he's doing anything else. So I think that he just put this up and was like, here it is. It's just the opening cutscene. I am a little surprised that it's still up. But
that's cute.
Yeah, the
Kojima
thing on the front of it. It's pretty cool. I mean, like, it makes I tell you what, it makes a really good case for why, if Konami wants to just get some fucking cash out of me and a whole bunch of other people, they've got their assets, it belongs to them, they should just do this shit and go back and dump Metal Gear into the Fox engine and remake an HD version of it and put it out at Christmas, and all us fucking Metal Gear nerds will go buy it because we don't have any shame, and it doesn't matter how many times you fire Hideo Kojima, I'm still going to buy it. So, but it looks, I mean, I don't know. Go watch it on YouTube if you haven't seen it already. It looks really good. It unfortunately ends right before you see anything that would be like Shadow Moses, but it's still pretty cool looking. So, and that's the news. So we're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we are going to answer some questions. So make sure that you stick around, and we'll see you in just a second. John, we're back.
Welcome.
Yes. Mail@rageslite.com is the email address. We didn't get that many emails this week, but I had a bunch of emails left over from last week. So
you didn't tell them I was coming back to record. Had you told them, they would have come.
I didn't.
If you tell them, they will come, Jeff.
I didn't turn the John signal on before we started. I'm sorry, to let all of Gotham know that you were here. Yes, mail@rageslite.com is the email address. I didn't finish any games to review this week. I review that new Taco Bell double cheesy gordita or whatever. I had one of those last night. I don't know about all that, but anyway, our first question this week comes in from Jesse, and Jesse says, "Greetings, Jeff, and very awesome, John. In the wake of the new Resident Evil 2 game that is going to be released later this year, I decided to go back and play the original. Personally, I feel the game still holds up, but it made me wonder, is it better for a game to be re-released with the original gameplay and story, but new and better visuals, such as Resident Evil 1 Remaster, or is it better for a game to be completely redone from the ground up in the way that the new Resident Evil 2 is being made? At that point, is it even the same game? Thanks for answering my question. Love the show and all the hard work you put into it. Jesse. P.S. In my last email, you asked how a deaf person can listen to the podcast. Here's how I do it. While I am completely deaf in one ear, I still have some hearing in the other. Okay. 2, I use hearing aids. And 3, on my phone, I feed the audio through my hearing aids using a Bluetooth adapter. Oh, wow. That's crazy.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. And then 4, when on YouTube, I turn on the captions, which are sometimes hit or miss. I can only imagine what, like last week, Michael and I were talking about The Last Jedi. There was a lot of interruptions going on. I can only imagine what the YouTube caption system is just like trying to keep up with this rapid fire splash. But so remasters and remakes. A question that I feel like has become a lot more relevant recently.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning of this console generation, I feel it was just up-reses, right? It was just, we're going to up-res it, we're going to put it out. So I don't know. What do you think, John?
I mean, I'm okay with remasters, like, just up-resing or even like putting in a new graphic engine, but it's the same exact game, same play style, maybe slightly tweaked to be better controls.
Yeah.
Like the first Resident Evil remake. But I'm also okay with a complete remake from scratch.
Yeah.
I mean, is it the same game? Technically, no. I mean, it might have the same story.
Right.
It may hit a lot of the same, it may have a lot of, if not all of, the same story beats. Mm-hmm. But it's a different game because it's played differently.
Yeah.
But I welcome those as well because, it kind of goes, and this is something I know you're going to look at me and be like, I hate that, or I didn't, it's not bad, but it wasn't for me. It's like the Twin Snakes from Metal Gear Solid. Uh-huh. I actually really like Twin Snakes. Uh-huh. It's not, it's not the same game. I mean, it's the same game, but it's a remake in so much that I would consider it closer to this Resident Evil 2 remake than I would consider it closer to the Resident Evil 1. But I mean, it's the same story, but it is a different game. And while it's hitting all the same story beats, it's a different experience.
So that actually, there's a lot to unpack here, but like that one is very interesting to me because in the Twin Snakes, you beat the Hind, right?
Yeah.
You do the same thing to the Hind that you do in OG Metal Gear Solid, right? They do have the first-person perspective, like the first-person aiming perspective from Metal Gear Solid 2 was integrated in there, which that's weird because that makes a lot of the encounters in the game a lot easier.
Yeah, it does.
So like when you're in the tank hangar and you can see some guy over there, it's like I can go into first person to line up the shot, whereas because the original Metal Gear Solid didn't have that aiming capability, it's like I had to kind of like run up and use the radar. So in that way, it's almost like if you wanted to add that particular gameplay element in the first person perspective, then I feel like that's the sort of thing where you are adding in mechanics that change the way the game is played. And so in my opinion, in a lot of ways, Metal Gear Solid was never meant to have that mechanic in it.
Yeah.
Adding that mechanic fundamentally changes the challenge structure of the game in a way that I'm not super happy about. My main issue with the Twin Snakes has actually really nothing to do with the story, nothing to do with the voice acting, nothing to even do with that first-person perspective. It's all to do with the cutscenes and the way that the cutscenes turn Snake from a very good soldier into like a super soldier.
Yeah.
Into, like in the original, when you're fighting the Hind, you blow it up and there's a thing. But in the remake, this is the one I always trot out. The Hind shoots 2 last missiles at Solid Snake, and like one, he like does a backflip, and one of them goes under him, and then the second one, he pivots off of it. He like lands his foot on it and pivots off of it, pulls out the rocket launcher to shoot, and then you see the other missile explode behind him. And it's like, that to me undercuts a little bit the idea of Snake as a a kind of a common soldier or a good soldier, right?
Yeah.
But that he's going, it makes a difference when it seems like he's going up against these weird super mutants, right? Like Vulcan Raven and Revolver Ocelot, as opposed to him just being like a regular guy, especially considering that the way that the story is set up is that Snake, Solid and Liquid Snake are the sons of the boss, and that in the game they say that Liquid Snake was like the Arnold Schwarzenegger twin, and that Solid Snake was the Danny DeVito twin, that like the genetics from Big Boss, there was a good one and a bad one, and then Liquid Snake was the good one. And then at the very end of the game, they're like, oh, the bad one thought the good one thought he was the bad one the entire time, or there's some kind of bullshit. And so it kind of like steps on those story beats a little bit.
Yeah.
But then a lot of it comes down to a question in my mind about what is the purpose of your remake and who is it for? Because there is a case to be made, and a lot of people made this. I'm not going to go too far down this road about Shenmue and about archival of games, right? And that the only way that you were going to play Shenmue now was if you were going to play it on the Dreamcast, like you had an old Dreamcast, or you had an Xbox
One, or the original Xbox,
right?
LG.
And that's just a thing where there aren't that many places for people to be able to play it. Getting a game like that into Steam, right, means that like a lot of people can play it, and having it on Steam means that a lot of people are going to be play it for a long time to come. Now, and that's great for archival purposes. It's like you can see what this game was like when it was released, and all that we've done is just kind of up-res the graphics a little bit, but we've left it warts and all.
Yeah.
However, that's those types of games, even Resident Evil, even the original Resident Evil remake, is great for people, I feel like, that have a sense of nostalgia for those games. But like, if you hand somebody Resident Evil 1 nowadays, like if you just handed somebody Resident Evil 1 with, the bad voice acting and the cheesy cutscenes and all that stuff, it'd be like, why the fuck would I ever want to play this? Like it doesn't age well. And some games age better than others. Like there's no reason to remake Resident Evil 4, say, right now, because Resident Evil 4 totally holds up. Like 100% holds up.
No, I agree.
Whereas Resident Evil 2, the fixed camera angles, the kind of kludgy, some of the inventory mechanics and stuff like that. I had the feeling that it's like you could try to play this, or if you were a modern gamer that was trying to enjoy this, you'd be like, gross. This is just. It's the same reason why you just said adding in what we would consider to be modern controls as opposed to the tank controls that were in the original Resident Evil. So for my money, part of it to me also has to do with price, with how much do you want for your thing. Like if you want $20 for just an up-res, here it is. Here's the old game. I'm like, okay, if I played that game, I can get my nostalgia rocks off by playing. Zone of the Enders 2 came out this week, right?
Yeah.
Where they up-resed it, and that's all they did to it.
Well, like for example, Sega's releasing the original Valkyria Chronicles on Switch. It's only going to be $20. Mm-hmm. But if you buy Valkyria Chronicles 4, then when they do release Valkyria Chronicles, which comes out after 4 for some reason, you'll get like a 5% discount, or get instead of $20, it's like $15 or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, it's like, but they're also saying that's not the version that was re-released for the PS4 and put on PC.
Right.
Like it's not an up-resed version of it. But it is that game on the new console. So if it's cheaper, yeah, it's cool. I'll do that.
I think that if I had to come down to it, what I would say is, and this is such a subjective thing that nobody is going to be able to say definitively one way or the other. My experience in Shenmue got me thinking a lot about how do classic, quote fingers, how do classic games hold up over time?
Yeah.
And I feel like some games hold up really well, that you can still go back and play them, and you're like, I see exactly why people were so interested in it. I just said it. Resident Evil 4 is a great example of a game that was a GameCube PS2 era game, and I think that game stands on its feet now really well. I think I don't think I'd be out of line by saying that for most people, Resident Evil 4 is better than the technologically more advanced Resident Evil 5 and 6, right? That people prefer 4 to 5 and 6, which came out years later and had better graphics.
I'll even go a weird thing with you, a weird analogy with that, with what you're saying. Wrestling video games.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people still go back and play WWE No Mercy or WWE WrestleMania 2000.
Right.
Because like those were the pinnacle of wrestling games at the time, and they were for the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
These are games like for the Nintendo 64. Look crap graphic wise, but people love that engine and love the controls for it because they're so slick, so smooth, so good for gameplay.
Right.
People prefer it over the current WWE 2K whatever games that are coming out with the updated roster and the slick new somewhat realistic inching into uncanny valley graphics.
Right.
There are people who prefer that over that.
Yeah.
Because those games did have a good they're good games.
Right.
They're those games that even when the graphics are not at the best, they are still good games that are fun to play, and you're like, oh, I understand why people play this, and why don't they use these controls for these games, or whatnot. So I totally get that.
I mean, I'd rather play Modern Warfare than any Call of Duty. I'd rather play the single player for Modern Warfare than the single player for any other Call of Duty game that's come out since Modern Warfare. In fact, I will go back and play Modern Warfare because it's still such a great game for me. But then there's also a tier of games that I feel like at a certain point they stop holding up. Like they are clunky or kludgy, or like they have control issues, or I said I wasn't going to talk too much about this, and I'm not going to like harp on it. But one of the main issues that I had with getting into Shenmue was that the voice acting was really bad. Now, okay, Resident Evil 1's voice acting is really bad, but Resident Evil's voice acting was a different sort of bad. Like, Shenmue's trying to tell a realistic story of loss and revenge, and so it matters if the setup to your game has this really bad voice acting that was recorded very poorly. And a lot of people may say, people have said they didn't have these assets, so they had to literally rip like the voice stuff off of the Dreamcast version of the game. But it doesn't even sound like they ran it through a mixer. It doesn't sound like they did any work at all to it to make it sound. So it sounds like it's coming out of a Mr. Microphone.
Yeah.
And it's bad voice acting, right? So in that case, like, I would make the argument that, say, something like Shenmue does not hold up, and I would prefer to see something like that remade as opposed to just remastered and then put back out again. So there's a difference. And then, to further this, I've been really thinking a lot for the last 2 weeks, again, about the concept of games that hold up. And it was actually fascinating because I was playing Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Yeah.
I did this for Yakuza Kiwami 1. I was watching the cutscenes in Yakuza Kiwami 2, and I was like, holy shit, these are engaging, right? Like, just the way that they're bracketed, like the virtual cinematography of these cutscenes is like a crime movie, and it's very engaging.
Oh, yeah. No. It's one of the best things about the Yakuza franchise.
Right. And I was like, I wonder how close these are to original Yakuza 2's cutscenes. Because I know that Yakuza 1's cutscenes are pretty much one-to-one. And I was like, this was a PlayStation 2 era game, but like these angles, the way that this game is framed, it feels like a modern game. It feels like a modern game that's taken a lot of cinematic sensibilities from Hollywood to do that. And I went and I found a YouTube playlist that was nothing but the Yakuza Kiwami 2 cutscenes, and I went to the cutscene that I was on, and then I unpaused the game and unpaused YouTube, and they were fucking identical. I mean, obviously the engine is better for Yakuza Kiwami 2, but like the camera angles and the music and like the voice acting and all that stuff was exactly the same as it was. And I guess that's what I'm saying about a game that holds up, right? Is if the voice acting holds up, then there is no reason to go back and do any kind of remastering to it. If the entire game holds up and you can still play it today, warts and all, like I think that Silent Hill 2 is a good example of a game that I feel like still holds up, warts and all, because I never played Silent Hill 2 until the HD version came out back when we worked at Spill for the 360, right?
Yeah.
But I still think that game holds up because it's a fascinating game. So for my money, I would prefer it if these games got... I understand both sides of it. Straight up archival is very important, right? Having a version of a game that you can just put the disc in and play of an old game, that's great. Because there are plenty of old games, especially PS2 era horror games that I look at every time we're getting ready to go into the asylum, where it's like, oh, these games are virtually impossible to get, or you've got to buy, like, Rule of Rose is $200 on Amazon because there was such a limited run of it, and there's no re-release, there's no digital download, there's no PC release of it. I wanted to play No One Lives Forever 2, potentially for Rage Select at some point, and I had to go buy a copy, an old copy off of Amazon, because it's not on Steam, it's not on Good Old Games, it's not on anything, and I want my shit to be legit. So when it comes to archival, if it's a choice between a remaster with nothing and nothing, I'd rather have a remaster that has no work done on it. But if the game itself comes from an era when things didn't hold up, like they put Shadow Tower, I believe. It's like an early From Software game from the PlayStation 1. And I don't know if you remember, like back in the old PS1 days when they had like Kingsfield and shit.
Yeah.
Before dual analog sticks were the thing, it was like you would turn with the L1 and R1 buttons on the controller would be your turn left, turn right, and then the D-pad would be forward, backwards, strafe left, strafe right, or whatever. Horrible control schema. It's very weird. And there's not really a way in the game to map that onto a current controller. But if it's choice between having no access to that whatsoever and doing any amount of work, I think I'd rather have the bad version. But if it's good enough, then yeah. I like the fact that 2 is getting remastered. In fact, I even, they're putting out Yakuza 3, 4, and 5, which were on the PlayStation, I believe, on the PS4 with just up-resed graphics.
Yeah.
I'd actually would be willing to wait for Yakuza Kiwami 3, Yakuza Kiwami 4, and Yakuza Kiwami 5, depending on how they look. I mean, we haven't seen any of those yet, but
it may be a situation where they just don't need it.
I remember that Yakuza on the PlayStation 3 has always been a fantastic looking franchise. Yeah. It's like, Metal Gear or some of the older games where it's like they hold up because the art style was so strong that it was able to just pull the rest of the game through. So, I don't know. So anyway, yeah. All right, our next question comes in from... there's not a name on here, so I'm just going to call them M. M writes in and says... Hello, Joey Ryan's rejected penis druids. So not only am I a collector of retro games...
I get that.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Joey Ryan is famous dick wrestler Joey Ryan.
Oh, that guy!
Yeah.
Okay,
so they had a wrestling event called All In over the weekend.
Okay.
And so this whole thing on a YouTube channel called Being the Elite, which is a YouTube channel by people in the Bullet Club or whatever, and because their company that they work for a bunch of companies, and they don't have like stories, they just go to places and have matches. Mm-hmm. So they basically created a YouTube show that's literally 30 minutes of just skits of them doing storylines. And one of the storylines is that one of the guys killed Joey Ryan.
Okay.
And so they had this whole thing. So at All In, which was this big independent event, suddenly a bunch of like kind of like an Undertaker, like dark, like lightning and lighting and and instead of druids coming out, it's a bunch of guys in dick costumes, giant dick costumes come out, and then Joey Ryan comes out, and then beats up the guy who everyone thought killed him, and then the guys in penis costumes carry that guy off, just like the Undertaker's druids would. It was fucking amazing.
All right. There you go.
Wrestling, everybody.
Wrestling. There it is. So anyway, M says, so not only am I a collector of retro games and hentai manga, but I love collecting vinyl records. So out of curiosity, I found a website that sells video game soundtracks on vinyl. That's store.im8bit.com and blah, 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 blah. Which got me to thinking, what's a video game soundtrack that you would love to own on vinyl? For me, while looking on this side, it would be Killer Instinct soundtrack because holy shit, it sounds so cheesy. Thanks for reading my question and penis plex. And then he says, P.S. He's just got a list of the games that have been released on vinyl. I'm going to just say that we're going to just say whatever. You can pick whatever you want to. So game soundtracks that you would love to have on a record.
I'm going to say something.
Uh-oh.
I collect comics.
Yes.
Collect video games.
Sure.
Like I technically don't collect video games, but I don't get rid of my video games, so I collect video games.
You don't throw them in the trash when you
No. I keep I don't even trade them in anymore. I just amass video games now.
I just throw them in fire.
I know. I watched you do it.
2018.
I at one point tried to trick you by creating a fake fire.
Yeah.
You throw them in there, and then I would grab them and take them home.
Just those orange streamers. I saw through that shit.
Yeah. You saw through it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But anyways, I collect toys.
Right.
I collect action figures.
Yeah.
Comic books. Video games.
Yep.
I have a huge ass DVD and Blu-ray collection.
That's true.
vinyl scare the shit out of me. I don't want to go down that road. Like I am like, there's a part of me that's like, ooh, I would really like to get something on vinyl. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not like literally
Don't do it,
alarms
man.
start going off in my brain going, don't ever get into collecting vinyl, you fucking hoarder.
Yeah.
You know, cause I got too much stuff as it is.
Okay.
But if I were, probably the Brutal Legend soundtrack, just because it's,
Well, that's just like an anthology, right?
well, no, because there's the music that's in Brutal Legend, and then there's actually a Brutal Legend soundtrack,
Oh.
which is on vinyl.
Okay.
But yeah,
I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
No.
Also, I'm going to get you a record player for Christmas.
Yeah, I don't have one of those either. But I'm like constantly, like every time we go to like a record store or a place that has vinyls, I'm just like, nope, not gonna do it. Gonna walk away.
I like the way it sounded like you were taking a real big hit there where you're like, I was just like, no, man, I can't be getting into this vinyl.
Yeah, nope, not doing it.
I'm going to say, I mean, like, I would consider this question to basically just be, hey, Jeff, what game soundtracks do you like the most in the world?
Yeah.
So I think that okay, so I've had two standard answers that come out all the time, right? And then I've got a few more that I would put on top of that. The Bastion soundtrack is one of my favorite video game soundtracks of all time, and I can actually see where it would be because of the tone of that soundtrack. It would probably sound really good on vinyl.
Yeah. I think there actually is. It has been released on vinyl.
Probably so. And Transistor less so, but I'm really more Bastion. I feel like was better.
I actually really like Transistor soundtrack.
Okay. And then the other
I'll
one,
admit it is better. Bastion is better, but I really like Transistor soundtrack.
the other one that I really, really, really like is the Simon Viklund remix of for Bionic Commando Rearmed.
Okay.
Of all the original Bionic Commando score, which is it's so good. I'm gonna go listen to it now. It's been a long time since I listened to it. So freaking good. Bionic Commando Rearmed is so freaking good. Like that's one where it is technically just a remaster because it's still just got all of the mechanics are pretty much the same from the original Bionic Commando. Because I think you can even hot switch it like in Halo to the old graphics and then back again. Now let's see, if you were going to have something on vinyl, I can say that the Red Dead soundtrack would be something that I feel like would really work on vinyl.
Has been released on vinyl as well.
Sure, absolutely sure.
Yeah.
When it comes to specifically tone, the Fallout 3 soundtrack or the New Vegas soundtrack would both.
Yeah.
I mean, those are just old songs, so they would sound good on vinyl. When looking at through this list that he sent, I do notice that 2016 Doom is on there, and I feel like that would be a really. Like I fucking love the music for Doom 2016.
I'd probably also own the Alan Wake soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
Because even if you another game that actually does have a soundtrack that doesn't have any of the licensed stuff,
right?
But it has the score and then also has all the whatever the band from the game is. I can't think of it. The Sons of Ragnarok or
I think that's what they're called.
No, actually they're not, but it's something. I just can't think of what it is.
Okay.
Like it was there for a second, and then it left my brain. But it's very similar to what Brutal Legend did, where it's the score and then they have the track from Cabbage Boy, the song Girlfriend, at the beginning of the game, because that was an original song made by them.
Let's see. I think also somebody mentioned, or it's listed on this list, and even though I didn't really play the game all that much, I feel like the Cuphead soundtrack would probably be a really good one to have on a nice vinyl.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, the last one, it's been a long time since I've thought about it, but I would probably like to have the album, I believe it's called, is it called Brass by the Mini Bosses? That's like, the Mini Bosses had the one that's like superb album that was just like like Mega Man 2 and Simon's Quest and just all the bangers from the NES era. Outside of that, I don't know. I mean, like maybe like Dark Souls, but I don't even know. You know what? I would really love, there's been a few games in the Metal Gear franchise where they've just put together some of the best of what's his name, the the guy that everybody loves in Hollywood. The guy who's the guy that everybody fucking loves is like a Hollywood score guy. He's like the Dark Knight or whatever. God damn it.
Not Danny Elfman.
Not Danny Elfman. Not Hans Zimmer, I don't think.
Williams?
No, not John Williams. I'm having a real hard time here. He did the soundtrack starting at Metal Gear Solid 2, I believe. Harry Gregson Williams. I feel like you could probably put together, I don't know that any one particular game would work, but I feel like you could definitely make yourself an anthology album of some of the best songs out of the Metal Gear franchise, which has had some very good songs, like the Metal Gear Solid 4 theme that has all those like violins at the beginning, that real kind of like
which I'm pretty sure there actually is vinyl of every one of those soundtracks.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Those all seem like they're probably fine.
Yeah, I think the other thing about vinyl is that I know that if I were to buy them,
yeah,
I would never listen to them because I don't like. I don't listen to music like that.
Yeah,
like I listen to music when I'm walking or when I'm at work.
Yeah,
I don't listen to music when I'm at home because I'm either watching a movie or playing a video game or or something like that, or reading a book or something. Like I don't like to read. When it comes to books, I don't like to read and listen to music that aren't synchronous.
Right.
So I tend to, and the type of music I like is so fucking random and all over the place that. But yeah, I have a lot of bands that I like that all are like hardcore into vinyl. And I'm like, I should buy that album on vinyl because I really like that album. And I'm like, no, don't do it.
Yeah. There we go. It started thundering, and I was wondering when my dog was going to come up here and be very scared. So, and here he is. Yeah. In general, though, you know what? I think it's funny because we were talking about it on the Wailing Heights video. How like most games, even indie games these days, have very good soundtracks.
Yeah.
Which was why it was so weird that Wailing Heights, a game about music, had a kind of dull soundtrack.
Yeah.
It was like kind of bizarre. Anyway, let's see. We've got another. Well, this one has a musical component, and this one comes in from. I'm going to call you P. P says, "Dear Jeff and John, after rewatching One Punch Man for the third time, only 3 times. Come on." I am continually in love with its satire, fight scenes, and music. Which animes, in your opinion, have the best fight music and choreography? P.S. You can't just take this as a chance to talk about how good One Punch Man is and your hopes for season 2. Thank you very much, and that's from P. So, One Punch Man is great.
Yeah, no, One Punch Man is great. Great fight choreography because it's an anime about fighting, and it's actually just came out earlier this year. It finished airing earlier this year. Megalobox.
I just watched that.
So good.
It
is so good.
It was really, really good. I was trying to gush about it to Michael last week. He was like, cool. But no, you know what I liked the most about it was the fact that like the choreography in it was like boxing. It wasn't like, it never got all like fucking, My Hero Academia jumping up in the air, punching a moon Thanos style. It was just like a boxing show.
I do want to say, since I can talk to somebody about this, 'cause now I know somebody that's watched it because I was watching it as it was coming out. So I was watching it weekly. But what's great about the show is it's a reinterpretation of another anime / manga. I forget what it's essentially Joe the Boxer or Joe the Champion. They've translated the name into different things.
Okay. Is that the same world?
No. So that one actually is like in the past, and it's like in the 50s, and it's like total modern day stuff as of that.
Okay.
There's a lot of Rocky in it. Like this was before Rocky as well. Like a lot of people are saying that there's a possibility that this might have influenced Rocky a little bit.
Okay.
Or at least that archetype.
Yeah.
But I could also be totally wrong on that. And there's some anime fan that's going to like rip me a new one about it. So that's fine. But the people who made this for this manga's, I think it was like the 30th anniversary or 50th anniversary, or something like that. They decided to make this anime. And this anime takes place in the future, and it's like megaloboxing is like boxing with like these robotic
arms,
arm rigs things, and the big thing is that the main character fights without it.
Right.
That's like his thing. Like and it's kind of a similar story. The ending is very different than the original manga and anime.
Okay.
But it's really good. The other big thing about it is that this is one of the first traditionally drawn animes that have been released in like 10 years or 5 to 10 years.
Well, it looks like
because there is no CG, there is no computer. It's all hand animated using the old school flip.
Yeah.
You know, take a picture of the thing, flip, take a picture. Like, it's traditionally animated with no computer touch-ups. It's not drawn on a computer. It's drawn on paper using cells and all that stuff.
Interesting.
So, and it looks it very much reminds me of like a Cowboy Bebop style or you know, that era of anime that you would see. Cowboy Bebop or Outlaw Star or stuff like that. Yeah. But it's so good. Like, the music in it is so good. Mm-hmm. Like, just it complements everything. Like, I think that's why I actually compare it to Cowboy Bebop than anything, is because the music and the action are so well done and intermingled with each other.
Yeah.
That it's hard to imagine it with the sound off.
Right.
Because that's one of the things I love about Cowboy Bebop, is that the music is so...
Well, that would be my number one answer for this, is the Yoko Kanno score mixed with just like there's just some truly epic fights going on in there. That whole series culminates in the Spike's assault on the headquarters to the full version of the Real Folk Blues, and it's just like, it is amazing.
Yeah.
You watch that, just like fucking chills and spills from that. And mostly because, like, I don't know if they did actual choreography, but like Spike fights, both Spike and Jet fight more like organically than you normally see in an anime. Like, there's no like powering up, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, a lot more just like realistic looking, which, you know, I've been talking at length about how I love My Hero Academia for how over the top it is, but I also like something like the one about the robot old man that I was talking about, or like Cowboy Bebop, that's a little bit more down to earth, because like when it's just blown out of proportion, or even Megalobox for that matter, is because Megalobox, it's like, you know, it's like when you come right down to it, it's like a boxing show, right? Like, nobody doesn't ever get hit because they're so good. Like, it's still about punching other people, and they still get hurt when they punch other people. And like, this whole episode's a Megalobox where the main character just has to like lay down because he got fucking beat up so hard the last time he fought, right? And it's not just like, oh, well, I'm just going to power through with my will and how good I am at everything. So, I got to say that I've been watching season 3 of Attack on Titan.
Okay.
And that there's been, is not a spoiler, but like, I will say that season 3 of Attack on Titan has featured approximately 0 Titans so far. And there's been a lot of like people with the mobility rigs, like fighting other people with mobility rigs, which can be really cool and dynamic looking. Especially, they love in that series sometimes to like follow a character, like kind of going all the way down to the ground and then like popping back up into the air, and it can be like very cool and dynamic. Evangelion originally, as a mecha series, has some really good fight scenes. The fights with the angels before it gets all kind of like wackadoo. I mean, there's that one where it's like Asuka and Shinji have to do Dance Dance Revolution against the 2 angels at the same time. That's really fun. I'm trying to remember if there's something about, like, I don't know if there's anything in particular, if there's a particular scene that stands out, but also when it comes to music, good choreography, and a show that I really like, Trigun is just so fun from beginning to end.
Yeah, I actually got to introduce that to Amanda a while back, because she'd never seen it, so I had her watch all of Trigun. And what's hilarious, because we watched it in English,
right.
The voice actor for that is the second Black Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, Johnny Young Bosch. He does the voice of Vash the Stampede, which when he left Power Rangers, his first job was doing voice acting and that was his first thing.
Yeah.
So he went and he found out that because of his stuff that he had done with Power Rangers and voiceovers, that it transitioned really well into voice acting, and then that led him into a full-time career being a voice actor, and he's done shit ton of stuff.
Okay.
Like I said, he was Vash the Stampede. He was Kaneda in the re-dub of Akira.
Oh, okay.
When Bandai got a hold of it and decided to redub everything with better voice actors,
Right.
and then also did like the huge restoration to the video, to the animation. Like he was Kaneda in that. There's a lot of stuff he's been in that's like high profile, and so Amanda's all like, anytime we like watch him like talk on stage or watch an episode of Power Rangers with him, she's like, all I can think is Vash the Stampede. All I wanted to do is that stupid laugh, and he's not doing it.
I think that, when you talk about Akira, that makes me think of there were some really impressive action sequences in Spriggan.
Spriggan, yes.
Which the story of which is a little bit light, but like there are some action sequences in there that are just like
that.
"Wah!"
That like I actually did when I moved into a house a while back, I decided to do a 24-hour movie marathon.
Yeah.
Because Brian Salisbury and Jason Murphy used to host those all the time.
Yeah.
And I just loved the idea of it. So I decided I was going to host one, and I was going to choose the movies and stuff like that, and show people. And Brian Salisbury came, and I showed him, and I played Spriggan, and he was like, what the fuck is the name of that anime? I have to own it. That was fucking badass.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes! I impressed Brian Salisbury with one movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure there's more. I mean, like, to be honest, anything that has a certain amount of notoriety. Oh, I was going to say, okay, when it says fight scene, actually, technically it says fight music, but I will never be able to recreate the first time that Light started writing in the Death Note, and it was the most dramatic scene I've ever seen of somebody writing in a notebook with it's like swishing off the edge of the page with the little lights coming off of it and stuff like that. That was really impressive. But I don't know. I mean, just in general, animes, I mean, like, that's one of the things that I feel like anime is real good at. I don't have anything to say as far as like Naruto or Bleach or Dragon Ball or One Piece, because I don't watch those shows, but like, I'm sure there are, the end of season 4 fight in blah 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 that was.
Oh, there's some pretty lit fights in Dragon Ball and Bleach and Naruto and all that stuff. Like there's some pretty like on point.
Yeah.
But I feel like you have to get through a lot of stuff to get to those, and I feel like a lot of the stuff that we've been like mainly mentioning, like Cowboy Bebop, like Megalobox, like One Punch Man, like all the other stuff, even Spriggan, and even older stuff like Ninja Scroll and stuff like that. Like it's a little bit more digestible.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to watch like 100 episodes to get through stuff.
Which I could see the payoff as being even better if you've been invested in this thing for 100 episodes.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean like but I also feel like there's something to be said about shows that have like one and done seasons or one and done, or even movies that just really good soundtrack with a really good fight scenes and animation and just
Before we leave this topic, when it comes to fight music and choreography, I can't believe that I almost went one more without heaping just as much praise as is humanly possible on at least the second episode and last episode of Fooly Cooly.
Yeah.
The choreography of the first time that TV Head blocks that robot with the here come the pillows, and at the very end with the big, the big, he's flying through the air with the double guitars and the thing in his head. It's all like, that the music to that show was one of the things that really made it something super special with the pillows. But all right, well, let's see how much time we got left here. Not a lot, but we got enough time for a few more. Let's see. Brandon writes in and says, "Hey, Jeff and John. A buddy and I were debating the idea of world-ending apocalypses. Neither of us are particularly certain we could survive an apocalypse of any sort because we're both out-of-shape nerds who lack any kind of survival training. But I feel like it would be fun to pose the question to you, what kind of apocalypse do you think you'd survive? Zombies? Alien invasion? The Rapture? What do you think what do you think you would survive, or how awful and quick would your death be? Keep making awesome content. I'm loving The Witcher playthrough. Sincerely, just another one of them Brandons. I think, John, you've been on record numerous times as saying that you would not survive any apocalypse.
I would not survive any apocalypse. I understand that, but not because like, oh, I'm too out of shape and I would die. I would be just too oblivious. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't realize that whatever apocalypse is going on, and I would just be killed by like random, like a zombie would just come out and kill me from randomly out of nowhere.
Right.
Or, an alien would drop down and go, ack, 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 and shoot me with a ray gun, and I would be like, what the fuck is and then be dead.
Oh, okay.
I'm obviously Mars Attack. But, puppies would spawn out of the ground and just overtake me. I'd be like, oh, puppies. And then they would kill me because, they're vicious dog apocalypse. But, whatever apocalypse you could probably think of, I would, even if it was just like a thing where just all technology stopped working, I would probably just be like walking home from work and like a plane would fall out of the sky and land on me. I feel like that's the person I am. I'm the person who obliviously dies.
Okay.
At the very beginning while all the shit is going down.
I think if I was going to survive any one apocalypse, it would be the Pixels apocalypse, where all the video games come down to destroy mankind. And I'm like,
You'd be the Philip J. Fry.
yeah, or that episode, of Futurama. That's the one I can get behind. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on how quickly the apocalypse happens. Like, if it's a zombie apocalypse, but people are relatively safe for a time, then maybe. But I'm also, I'm a relatively mushy guy that has some survival instincts, but like, I don't know hand-to-hand combat, or like, I've shot a gun once or twice and I play a lot of violent video games, but I know that doesn't make me like a special forces commando.
Yeah.
If I had a bunch of other people protecting me, I could probably come up with some plans, but
I'll be honest. I say I'd be the oblivious guy, but in all honesty, I'd probably be one of those people that I would die eventually, but I probably would survive longer than I think I would.
Yeah.
Than I give myself credit for. But I envision every scenario of apocalypse. I somehow die very obliviously and unknowingly that there's an apocalypse going on. And by the time I realize it, I'm already dead.
I think that I could survive the zombie apocalypse as long as somebody else helped me survive like the initial outbreak, right? Because after that, I've been desperate for years to try my idea of the big pit. Because the zombies, they don't have any survival instincts. You just dig a really enormous pit and fill it with gasoline, and then they all fall in the pit, and then you set them on fire.
Depends on the type of zombies.
And then you clear out the pit, and then the more zombies come, and then they fall in the pit. You set them all on fire, and then you just repeat that until there are no dead left on the earth. And I know people are going to say, what if they come from the other side? That's why the pit's a big circle. Boom. Moats. Medieval castles could not be taken over by zombies, unless there's World War Z zombies that climb up each other.
Yeah.
But no regular decaying person is going to get through stone walls with fingernails.
Okay.
Julio writes in and says, hey, Jeff and John, what are the best / your favorite romantic relationships in video games? My personal picks are Garrus and Femchet from Mass Effect and Gwendolyn and Oswald from Odin Sphere, former actually showing the characters getting closer with each game, and the latter for being a great example of a traditional romance story told in a game. Thanks for answering my question, Julio.
So wait, what was the question?
What are your favorite, what are the best / your favorite romantic relationships in video games?
Yeah, that's a hard question for me.
Yeah, I don't know that I have an answer to that question.
Yeah.
And it's mostly because I feel like romance in video games is always just like kind of injected for the sake of like, oh, that'll be cool, right? People will be like, ooh, yeah, and I can get my bone on with that lady or that dude or the whatever, or that purple alien or whatever it is. Like, I was never titillated by like the characters in Mass Effect, like the romance options in Mass Effect or anything like that. I was rooting for Drake and Chloe, I'll be honest, but that didn't happen. So, it's got my heart broken. Yeah. Trying to think through something. I mean, like, I was whenever I don't have an answer to a question, John, I always try to go back to my mainstays. I'm like, Dark Souls? No, there's nothing really there that really counts. And I'm like, Metal Gear? I'm like,
Does love bloom on the battlefield, Jeff?
No. Actually, no, wait. I have an answer. I do have an answer for this. And it's because it's the most ridiculous relationship in video games. At the end of Metal Gear Solid 4, Meryl and Johnny Sasaki from the game franchise get together, and they basically have a romance in between shooting hundreds of like enemy soldiers that are coming towards them.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good set of this pretty good choreography and whatnot. So, trying to think of anybody else that really stands out. See, Resident Evil, there aren't really that many. I guess there are some romances in Resident Evil, Leon and Ada, but they don't really ever get together.
Yeah, it's more of just sexual tension.
Right. Jill.
There's a difference between romance and sexual tension, which I think is the thing, is that most games go for sexual tension and not actual romance.
Yeah.
It's rare that there's actually a romance style plot or characters.
I guess, you probably look at it like, Monster Prom? Does that count?
You know what? I'm going to say something.
Okay.
And this actually informed the way I canonically think of Mass Effect in my head.
Okay.
Garrus and Tali.
Okay.
I loved their entire relationship in that game.
Yeah.
In 2. On how they get together and you helping them. There was a part of me that was like, I'm totally gonna romance Tali, and then I hadn't actually thought about it, and then Garrus kind of was like, well, I'm like, oh no, bro, you totally go, you are adorable together.
Is there a scene where you go into where Garrus is and they're making out and you're just like, what? Oh no, so what about those computer parts?
Yeah, that is one of my all-time favorites, because they're adorable together.
Okay, fair enough. We'll leave it at that. Let's see. Paul writes in and says, hey, Rageman, I'm playing Guacamelee and I keep hitting B to dodge roll. It's my muscle memory from Dark Souls. I'm 3 hours in and I keep doing it. Please complain on the podcast about unconventional control schema for my entertainment. Thanks, from Paul.
I've done that.
Boy, what was that game? The Wizard one? That Amanda and I played, where it was a top-down, pixel-based, third-person.
I didn't watch it.
Arena. It was called Wizard of Legend or something like that. I was really into it. I couldn't figure out what button needed to be dodge, because the default one was A, and then I kept hitting B, and then I switched it to B, but my muscle memory was already starting to relearn to use A, and I was just like, I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. I don't even know which one of these to do.
I hate it, but at the same time, when different companies decide to do unconventional button schemes, but at the same time, whatever. The game's good. I'll get used to it.
I'll get used to it. You know what really bothered me a lot was in the early days of console FPSs, when we had decided that L2 is aim and R2 is fire, square is reload, click in is run, and X is jump and circle is duck.
I will also admit, Dark Souls fucked me up hard.
Yeah.
Because I did not want to use the shoulder buttons to attack.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to use A and B.
Oh, the face buttons.
The face buttons.
Yeah.
And the shoulder buttons were the attack buttons.
Yeah.
And it fucks me up every time. Every time I've ever gone back to play Bloodborne or tried to go back and play, for whatever reason, a game that is that control style.
Right.
It always messes me up for the first hour I'm playing it, and then I have to get reused to using the shoulder buttons again.
Right. Yeah. No, I can see that. Because that was the normal comparison at the time to what Demon Souls would have been. Would have been like Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
And Devil May Cry, you don't use the shoulder. Shoulder buttons would be dodge or switch between sub weapons or something like that. I can totally see that. I'm just thinking of back in the days when there were some companies where it was click in the right stick to go into iron sights, and it was oh, that's bad. I don't like that at all.
Yeah. I actually don't like when games use the click into the sticks because I actually broke one of my click things. It stopped responding to the clicks.
Yeah.
So or games where I'd be running and I'd accidentally click in the stick and suddenly my character's doing something that it suddenly goes into first person view. Why'd you go into first person view?
Ooh, I got another one. And I don't know. This isn't even a over certain periods. I don't know what fucking jackass over at From Software decided that one of your emotes needs to be like, hold down the X button and move your controller. And since the X button is like the run button in that game, I kind of tend to have it held down constantly. And then it's like I flip my controller and suddenly I got to wait through the animation of my character going, oh, praise the sun. And I'm like, I wasn't trying to praise the sun, bro. I will praise the sun when it is time to praise the sun and not a moment before. Also, I'm just going to take this opportunity, since the door has been opened by me, I understand, but open nonetheless. I wish to God that these motherfuckers would stop putting half of the voice acting for their video game on the speaker of the PlayStation 4 controller, because I don't want it there. I don't want it there. Like, it's not enough. If every game did it, that would be one thing, but it's like only a certain number of games do it, and so I'm just playing a game for the first time. Here we are at the dojo, blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly it's like, Spider-Man, you gotta come over. And, it's like, oh, shit, it's coming out of the controller. So now I've got to, like, hold the controller up to my microphone and, like, pause it and turn it off. And, yeah, the only time that I thought that was interesting was in the Wii Silent Hill game where it was, like, your cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
You, like, hold it up to your ear to, like, listen
to
the stuff. That was kind of cool, but... outside of that, I could really do without. Yeah. Or Guacamelee 2.
I like Guacamelee. I haven't played Guacamelee 2. I want to buy it, but like instead I bought Into the Breach on the Switch.
Ah, good choice.
And instead of buying Guacamelee 2 on PS4.
Yeah.
And so I've been playing Into the Breach again because I don't really play games on my PC anymore. Mm-hmm. So finding out...
And you bought it on the PC?
I bought it on the PC.
I thought you were just going to wait till it was out on the Switch.
I was originally going to wait till it came out on consoles or an iPad because I assume that at some point they'd release it on an iPad because it seems like it's a perfect game for it.
Sure.
But then, they announced the Switch version and it's out today and I was like, oh shit!
Yeah.
And I went and bought it. And so I've been playing that a lot.
Okay, cool. All right, we have one last question. This question comes in from Mr. Grant Davis.
Really?
Yes.
Grant Davis sends us a question.
I think that I asked for some questions on Twitter, and Grant was like, you need questions? I got a question for you.
Before. I've done that before. I've sent you an email.
Grant writes in and says, Dear Jeff and John, if you had a pet bird that was the size of a truck and could fly you anywhere, would you strap your body to his back or to his tummy for the flight? How would you feed the bird? House it? Afford it? Would you charge money for it? Would there be legal issues? Filing paperwork with the government and your HOA? What would you name the bird? And would you dress it up? Love you guys, from Grant.
Bird would be named Pickles. I would ride on its back.
Okay.
I would feed it whatever it was supposed to be fed. Uh-huh. If there were requirements for where would I keep it, I would probably keep it in the... I don't know, because I have an apartment, so I don't know where I would keep the bird.
Top of your apartment.
But I would keep it wherever the fuck it wants to sit.
Yeah.
Would there be homeowners association issues? Probably. I don't know. I mean, people have chickens in their backyard in one of my neighborhoods.
True.
So, you know what? I can have a giant fucking bird that can fly me places.
Okay.
It'd be named Pickles.
Okay.
I don't know why. Just
okay.
Pickles. Or just Pickle.
I'm going to call my bird Birdie McBirdface. And I choose not to ride on back or tummy. I would like to be gingerly picked up in its giant talons and then flown around precariously with the talons near me all the time.
Okay.
Just, getting to fly around with the greatest ease. Especially if it could hold both my arms so I could pretend like I was Superman and be like, whee! When it comes to how would you feed the bird, I would let the bird feed itself. And when the cops came and they were like, your bird's been eating cows. And I'd be like, did you fucking try to stop that bird? Have you seen how big it is? The motherfucker carries me around. Also, it can fly and you can't fly. And I assume you're not going to shoot my bird. I mean, look, it's already famous on Instagram. You want to be the guy that shot Birdie McBirdface? I'm recording you right now, officer. You tell me what laws I've broken about owning giant birds.
And that's when they tase you and then shoot the bird.
That's when they tase me, and then the bird comes to my rescue, hits them all with his wing, grabs me, and we fly to Narnia. And then we're going to rule the place because nobody's got a big bird in Narnia. Ooh, or Mordor. And we can just drop the ring right away. Would you charge money for it? I would charge money for people to... It depends on... You know what? I'm going to let the bird decide that. Like, if it's a cool bird, it's cool with people, they'd be like, hey, $5, you want to pet my bird? Look how big it is. It's like a small house. And people be like, what? I've never seen a bird like that before. And then filing paperwork with the government. I don't know what you file, your large bird taxes, your large...
Probably have to get like a pilot's license.
Pilots. I'm not flying. The bird flies. I don't fly.
Well, you have to get a pilot's license to be able to ride the bird.
Yes. As for dressing the bird up, never in a million years.
I'd put an aviator cap on it.
Yeah. I don't believe in putting clothes on animals. It's one of my pet peeves. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to just say that if this is all predicated on the idea that the bird is not a gigantic chicken, if it's a gigantic chicken, I'm going to eat it. Like, we don't have to even bother with the rest of this. We're just going to have ourselves a big old fried chicken. We're going to cook it like 8 different ways. It's going to be great. It's going to be the first time anybody's ever seen a bird. Unless, I guess, it was like if it came to me as like a big chickadee, like a big baby chicken.
If it was a rooster, you'd call it a big cock.
Check out my huge cock, everybody. That's if it was a
There's
large
a band called Phoenix TX.
Yeah.
Had a song about big cock.
All right.
It was serving up a giant rooster that they cooked for Thanksgiving, and they got a big cock for your mouth.
I could see. All right.
Yeah.
But there's some kind of double entendre going on there, but I can't decide.
not at all. I
Can't figure out what it could possibly be. So anyway, those are my answers, Grant Davis, to your silly bird questions. You want to ask me bird questions? You come to my house and ask me bird questions, or I don't know. It's been a while since Grant's been on. Anyway, that is our show for this week. So. It was adventure, excitement, steak, potatoes, birds. We got everything that you could want. Anime soundtracks, anime recommendations, video games. You know, what more could you like? What more could you want? There we go. Caffeine's starting to wear off. I'm starting to get a little loopy. So let's stop this before I forget how to talk correctly. Everybody just thinks I'm drunk. I'm not drunk. You're drunk.